Have you ever noticed a sudden shift in someone's behavior and thought, is there more to this story? Subtle signs often tell the loudest tales, especially when it comes to infidelity. From unexpected gym trips to unexplained medical visits, there are behaviors that even the best secrets can't hide. Stick with us as we uncover the signs most people miss, starting with the seemingly innocent, but potentially revealing changes that might leave you questioning everything. Trust me, you'll want to hear it all the way through. Have you ever found yourself wondering, is something going on that I don't know about? We all know that relationships come with ups and downs, but what if there's something beneath the surface that isn't quite adding up? You see, infidelity doesn't always show up in obvious ways. It's rarely as clear-cut as the classic dramatic moments we see on TV. Sometimes, the signs are much subtler, almost invisible to the untrained eye. But they're there, and they can speak volumes if you know how to listen. A slight change in behavior, a shift in routine, or a sudden surge of energy. These seemingly innocent tweaks in everyday life might be the tip-off to something bigger. But don't be fooled. It's not always as simple as spotting a few telltale signs. In fact, the signs of infidelity often hide behind the smallest of details, buried beneath layers of defense and denial. Today, we're diving deep into those unspoken shifts, signs that a partner may be hiding something they'd rather not admit. And while you might think you'd spot it a mile away, these signs are not as easily detectable as they might seem. Infidelity doesn't just show up with new perfume or a mysterious phone call in the middle of the night. No, it often manifests in more subtle, harder to pinpoint ways. We're talking about the kind of shifts that could easily be explained away if you weren't paying close attention. Perhaps she suddenly starts working out more, or maybe she's gone on an unexpected diet. Changes that could be related to health, but could also point to something much deeper. And what about the times she's more tired than usual, or when she's suddenly invested in looking better than ever before? There's a fine line between a harmless transformation and a shift that suggests she's trying to impress someone new. But weight loss isn't the only clue. In fact, it's just the beginning. Maybe you've noticed a shift in her sexual energy, an intensity or desire that wasn't there before. When someone's emotions are tied up in a new affair, their behavior can take on a whole new form. A sudden surge in sexual creativity or passion could very well have been inspired by experiences outside the relationship. It's not just a change in attitude, but a tangible shift in how she engages with intimacy, making you wonder, who else might she be thinking about when she's with you? The truth is, these signs are often impossible to ignore once you learn to look for them. And trust me, if you're reading this right now, you're already more aware than most when it comes to recognizing when things aren't quite right. What happens next, though? If you've ever felt that gut instinct that something's off, but couldn't quite pinpoint why, you'll understand the constant unease that comes with unanswered questions. It's this kind of awareness that can sometimes drive you to start questioning everything. But as we'll see, it's not always as clear-cut as it seems, and jumping to conclusions without real evidence could lead you down the wrong path. Today, we're not just talking about infidelity. We're talking about the art of seeing the signs before they become impossible to ignore. So if you're ready to dive in and uncover the signs that might be hiding in plain sight, stay with me as we explore each one. Sudden weight loss is one of the most noticeable and often concerning signs that could hint at underlying issues in a relationship. While there are many reasons someone might lose weight, like starting a new workout routine or adopting a healthier diet, it's important to consider the context surrounding the change. If your partner is suddenly shedding pounds without any obvious explanation, it might be worth paying closer attention. The question that often arises in these situations is, what's motivating this transformation? For some individuals, weight loss can be a sign of newfound energy or confidence, which could stem from a variety of factors, including personal growth or professional success. However, when the changes seem out of character or happen rapidly, they might be linked to something deeper. For example, the motivation behind a partner's sudden desire to lose weight might not be entirely about self-improvement, but rather an attempt to impress someone else. A shift in appearance can be a form of preparing for a new romantic interest. someone outside the current relationship. In such cases, the weight loss could be linked to the desire to look better or more attractive for someone new, perhaps a person they're seeing in secret. Furthermore, the nature of the weight loss itself might tell a more specific story. If the weight drops quickly or without a consistent, healthy lifestyle change, such as regular workouts or dieting, it could point to an underlying emotional or psychological factor. Stress, anxiety, or emotional upheaval can all contribute to weight loss, especially if a person is navigating an affair. The emotional toll of infidelity, whether it's the guilt of cheating or the excitement of a new relationship, can cause a person's appetite to fluctuate dramatically. This kind of rapid, unintentional weight loss might reflect the turmoil and distraction that accompany hiding something significant. Another aspect to consider is the change in behavior that often accompanies weight loss. A partner might suddenly become more motivated to look good, purchasing new clothes or trying out different hairstyles. These changes can be positive in themselves, but when they come with a marked increase in attention to personal appearance, they could signal a desire to attract attention, perhaps from someone outside the relationship. The intensity of the motivation to look better can sometimes be linked to the thrill of a secret, as it might not be about self-care, but rather trying to be noticed by a new person. In some cases, this transformation can also be linked to a newfound sense of freedom or control. If someone feels trapped in a relationship and seeks a way out, losing weight can be a way of regaining power over their body and how they're perceived. This can be an indirect way of signaling their readiness for something new, whether that's an affair or the desire to leave the relationship entirely. The most important takeaway is that sudden weight loss should never be ignored if other red flags are present. If your partner has changed their appearance, habits, and routine, it's important to pay attention to the bigger picture. While weight loss on its own might not be an automatic indicator of infidelity, when combined with other signs, it could be an important clue that something is amiss. The shift in appearance, energy, and motivations could be masking deeper emotional or relational issues that need to be addressed. Physical evidence is one of the most striking and difficult to ignore signs that something may be wrong in a relationship, especially when it comes to infidelity. While it might seem like an obvious indicator, the physical clues left behind often carry a level of subtlety that makes them hard to pinpoint immediately. However, when you start to notice recurring physical signs, they can speak volumes, often without any words being exchanged. The first clue many people might overlook are marks on the body. These marks can vary, but some of the most telling ones are scratches, bruises, or hickeys that appear on areas of the body typically covered by clothing, such as the neck, thighs, or breasts. These marks are often associated with intimate moments, and their presence can raise questions if they seem unusual or out of place. While a bruise or scratch could always have a simple, innocent explanation, such as an accidental bump or a playful interaction, if these marks start appearing with frequency or in specific areas that don't easily align with everyday activities, they might be a sign of physical encounters that don't involve the person you're in a relationship with. A hickey, for example, is a direct sign of passionate intimacy that leaves a noticeable mark. It's often hard to cover up or hide, making it one of the most obvious signs of a romantic interaction. In addition to these visible marks, changes in sexual behavior can also signal physical evidence of infidelity. If someone suddenly becomes more passionate, adventurous, or experimental in their intimate life, it could be because they've experienced new forms of sexual satisfaction with someone else. Increased creativity or interest in trying new things in the bedroom might be inspired by someone outside the relationship. These shifts could manifest in a number of ways, such as new preferences or heightened sexual desire. If your partner has been showing a side to their sexuality that seems uncharacteristic, it could be a reflection of experiences they've had with a different partner. Often, such changes can be subtle at first, but over time, they can become more pronounced. Beyond the obvious physical marks and changes in behavior, there are also internal physical signs that may not be as immediately visible, but can point to infidelity. One common and often unspoken sign is a change in vaginal health. Frequent sexual encounters with a new partner can introduce bacteria or other foreign substances into the body, potentially leading to conditions like yeast infections or urinary tract infections, UTIs. These infections can cause noticeable symptoms such as discomfort, unusual discharge, or a change in body odor. In fact, some individuals are more sensitive to changes in scent, and the intimate odor can shift as a result of new sexual encounters. This might not be something that can be easily detected unless both partners are particularly attuned to these details. Additionally, medical visits can reveal physical evidence of infidelity. If someone is suddenly making frequent trips to a gynecologist or is prescribed new medications, such as antibiotics, suppositories, or other treatments for infections or conditions, it might be a sign that they've been exposed to something new. In some cases, these medical treatments may be a result of sexual activity with a new partner, and the treatments themselves could be difficult to explain away. A partner might not even realize that their sudden health issues are signaling an affair, but someone paying attention to these changes might start to connect the dots. In conclusion, while physical evidence can sometimes be explained away as accidents or coincidences, if multiple signs begin to appear, they might form a larger picture of infidelity. The key is not just one isolated mark or health issue, but the pattern of physical changes that seem out of place when viewed in context. The physical signs may be difficult to confront, but they are often a glaring indicator that something is happening beneath the surface of the relationship. Medical clues can often be some of the most subtle yet telling signs of infidelity, as they might manifest in unexpected ways through visits to a gynecologist, new prescriptions, or certain health issues that can be difficult to explain away. These clues often arise from new interactions or exposures, making them challenging to account for without considering potential infidelity. It's important to note that while any of these medical symptoms can happen for entirely legitimate reasons, when taken in context with other changes or behaviors, they might be an indication that something is amiss. One of the most common medical symptoms linked to infidelity is frequent visits to the gynecologist. If your partner suddenly begins making regular trips to the gynecologist, particularly without a clear or typical reason like contraception or routine checkups, it might be worth investigating further. These visits could potentially signal issues related to sexually transmitted infections, STIs, or other medical conditions that might arise from sexual activity with someone outside of the relationship. Many STIs, such as chlamydia or gonorrhea, often require medical treatment in the form of antibiotics, which can leave a trail of clues. If your partner returns from these visits with new prescriptions or mentions needing to take antibiotics or other treatments, it could be a sign that they've been exposed to something new. Another important medical clue to consider is changes in vaginal health. Certain infections or conditions, such as yeast infections or UTIs, can result from new or increased sexual activity. The introduction of a new partner can alter the balance of microflora in the body, leading to bacterial or fungal infections. If your partner starts experiencing recurring or unusual symptoms, like discharge, itching, or odor, that don't align with prior health issues or treatments, it could be indicative of an affair. While it's not definitive proof, these changes often arise from new sexual encounters, making them difficult to ignore if they coincide with other suspicious behaviors. Additionally, prescriptions or new medications can serve as a potential red flag. If your partner mentions needing to take certain types of medication, such as antibiotics, antifungal treatments, or suppositories, it might be worth asking why. These medications could be related to an infection or condition that doesn't have a straightforward or innocent cause, particularly if they require a course of treatment or are difficult to explain. For example, if suppositories or antibiotics are being prescribed without a clear reason, it could point to a health issue linked to new sexual activity. Even if your partner explains the prescription as something unrelated, it's a detail that might bear further scrutiny if other warning signs are present. Physical symptoms might also overlap with hormonal or immune responses. If your partner is experiencing a sudden drop in energy or shows signs of fatigue or illness that can't be easily attributed to other stressors or lifestyle factors, it might be indicative of a different kind of intimacy or encounter. The body's immune response and hormone levels can shift when exposed to new bacteria or infections, and these changes often surface in medical tests or diagnoses. For example, some sexually transmitted infections can affect hormone levels or immunity, leading to a cascade of physical symptoms that aren't always easy to trace back to an illness or stress alone. This can be a subtle but undeniable sign that something new and unusual has entered the relationship dynamic. In conclusion, while these medical clues can often be dismissed or overlooked as mere coincidences, when combined with other behavioral or circumstantial evidence, they paint a picture of something that might be hiding beneath the surface. The key is to pay attention not just to the individual symptoms, but to the overall context of your partner's health and behavior. If multiple signs begin to emerge, unexplained trips to the doctor, new prescriptions, or unusual medical conditions, it might be worth having an open and honest conversation, or at the very least, recognizing that something isn't quite right. The medical clues are the subtle whispers of a hidden reality, and sometimes it's up to you to connect the dots. Emotional payoff is one of the most significant yet often overlooked aspects of infidelity. It's the psychological and emotional rewards that a person derives from stepping outside their current relationship. While physical evidence and behavioral changes might be the most obvious indicators of cheating, the emotional payoff is often what fuels the desire to continue or even escalate the affair. Understanding the concept of emotional payoff provides insight into why someone might cheat and why the affair may not always be about the physical attraction or even a desire to end the current relationship. At its core, emotional payoff refers to the sense of fulfillment and satisfaction someone gets from the attention, affection, or validation they receive from someone outside their relationship. For some, this could be a much-needed boost in self-esteem or a feeling of being desired and appreciated. In relationships that might feel stagnant, emotionally unsatisfying, or disconnected, the emotional rewards of an affair can feel intoxicating. These feelings of being noticed or loved in ways that may be missing in the primary relationship can be a powerful motivator, sometimes more so than the physical aspect of the affair. The emotional payoff can be particularly strong if someone feels emotionally neglected or unappreciated in their current relationship. It might not even be that the person no longer cares about their partner. Rather, the affair becomes a way of meeting unmet emotional needs. If one partner feels that the relationship has lost its spark, or that their emotional connection with their partner has faded, they might look outside for the kind of attention that reignites their sense of worth. These emotional needs could range from simple affection and admiration to deeper desires for intimacy and connection. A partner who provides these things in abundance may quickly become a source of emotional fulfillment, making it difficult for the cheater to resist the allure of their company. Additionally, the affair's emotional payoff often ties in feelings of excitement and novelty. The thrill of a secret relationship brings with it an element of danger and forbidden allure. This is especially true if the affair is kept hidden. The secrecy can make the emotional connection feel even more intense and rewarding. Being emotionally wanted in a clandestine situation can trigger a rush of excitement, providing a sense of escape from the monotony or pressures of daily life. The cheater may start to see the affair as a form of emotional liberation, a space where they can express themselves more freely without the restrictions or expectations of their primary relationship. However, the emotional payoff doesn't always last forever. In many cases, the initial excitement of an affair fades over time, and the emotional rewards become more complex. As guilt, shame, or confusion sets in, the emotional payoff can become a double-edged sword. The cheater may begin to feel torn between the emotional fulfillment they're receiving from the affair and the emotional pain they cause their primary partner. It is at this point that many individuals struggle with the emotional consequences of infidelity, and the payoff that once felt so satisfying begins to lose its luster. In some instances, the emotional payoff can lead to a deeper, more fulfilling relationship with the person they're having an affair with, potentially leading them to reconsider their current relationship altogether. For others, however, the emotional highs and lows of infidelity are ultimately unsustainable, leaving them feeling empty, guilty, or uncertain about what they truly want from their primary partner or the affair. In conclusion, the emotional payoff of infidelity is a complicated and multifaceted aspect of cheating. It's not just about physical attraction or an attempt to escape a relationship. It's about fulfilling unmet emotional needs, craving attention and validation, and seeking excitement or novelty outside of the primary relationship. Understanding this emotional aspect of infidelity is crucial in grasping why some people are driven to cheat and why they may struggle to break free from the cycle of emotional reward that keeps them hooked.